Hello and welcome back to this special edition of One on One, New York's longest running sports call-in show, coming to you from the Convention Center in New Orleans ahead of Super Bowl 59. James Birle and Nick Guzman here with a very special guest, longtime Philadelphia Eagles wide receiver, and for a short time Kansas City Chiefs as well. Jason Avant is with us. Jason, how you doing, man?
Good to see you guys. I'm doing great. Ready for the Birds to kick butt.
As an old Eagles fan myself, it's an absolute privilege to have you here. I think back to those late 2000s, early 2010s Eagles teams. I mean, you got the chance to play with Donovan McNabb, Michael Vick. I mean, a great wide receiver room with Deshaun Jackson, Jeremy Maclin, and under Coach Andy Reid as well. What do you have to say about him going for the three-peat now?
Well, he's a great coach, and I'm glad that he's able to show how great he was. He was great in Philadelphia. The quarterback position is the most important position, and when you finally get that guy, he kind of knew it. He had a solid guy in Alex Smith, but he had a hunch, a feeling about Patrick Mahomes. He went out and got that guy, and now it just shows what Coach Reid can do even more. Coach Reid's one of those coaches that wins with whoever's in there. He's won with A.J. Feely. He's won with Chad Henne. He's won with Chase Daniels. He's won with everyone, and he will continue to win. But when you have a guy like Patrick Mahomes, those wins start to turn into Super Bowl wins and playoff wins. And then you start getting the notoriety that you always deserve. The quarterback can do a little bit more than some of the guys that I play with, and I have Pro Bowl players, but this is a Hall of Fame player, and that's a big jump. That's like having a luxury car, a Lexus, and then getting a Bugatti. It's a totally different thing.
Jason, you're certainly in the right place here in New Orleans, considering it's Eagles and Chiefs, the two teams you played for in your career. But when you moved to Kansas City, there's a young Travis Kelce there. It's a young up and coming team. What was it like going to that environment?
Yeah, I was brought there just to kind of mentor and show like Travis the way. Coach Reid was worried about him, and he's a great player. I told Coach Reid, I was like, he does things I can't do, and I'm 30 pounds lighter than him. So Travis has always had the ability to make people move out of their spot. And what I'm telling you is that Allen Iverson, just think about his highlight against Michael Jordan. He was able to cross the ball over left or right and shift Michael Jordan's weight so he can have a clear path. That's the same thing that football winning teams do, winning players do. They make you move. They don't run around you. They make you move out of the spot. And that's something that Travis Kelce has been able to do. And you add all the elements that they have. It was my time there was special. I always say that Donna Kelce did a successful job of raising a hillbilly and a black dude in the same household. I don't know how it happened. For a whole 6 months, I didn't know that they were brothers.
Well, which one is which? Which one?
You know
which
which
one?
one.
I'm only joking. You have obviously one of the few people to have played with both of the Kelce brothers, being both of those guys are one-team guys, spent a long time with the Eagles, short time with the Chiefs as well. So that's a very special time. We're a little upset that Kelce chose to retire last year. He's not here with us this year. Would have loved to have seen him. But going back to what made Patrick Mahomes so special, you talked about Coach Reid taking that chance on him. But you're repping the Eagles. You were there for 8 seasons. I got to ask you, what's it going to take for Philly on Sunday? You'll be at the game to get the W.
Well, they're going to have to control the line of scrimmage. That's number one. They're also going to have to run Jalen, and Jalen is going to have to pick up some third downs with his legs. And when there's nobody to throw the ball to, you have to hurt them that way, because Spagnuolo is a disciple of Jim Johnson, who was my defensive coordinator with the Eagles. And one thing that Jim Johnson and Spagnuolo always struggle with is running quarterbacks. And it's the guy that kind of, when nothing's there, can make a play. And Jalen has to do that periodically throughout the game to keep him honest, because if you don't do that, now he feels he can be aggressive and throw blitzes at you and coverages that you've never seen. So when you run the ball as a quarterback, you're going to get vanilla defenses because you need all eyes on a quarterback just in case he runs.
And Jason, shifting a little bit away from football, after your career, you've become an accomplished competitive salsa dancer. Talk a little bit about that.
Oh, that's been fun, man. That's revitalized like a lot of my years there. Like, it's just, like football kind of takes years away from you.
I'm sure.
Salsa is like adding years to me. Because it's fun. It's one of those things that you stay in shape. You get a chance to dance around the world. I just got back from Budapest dancing. I've been to Croatia and Cartagena and all types of places just to dance. And sometimes even people pay me to dance. So it's fun, man. It's been a great time.
Well, I was trying to get a feel for it before we got you to sit down on the show. You said you had to stop dancing in order to play football, but you wished you had done both at the same time because it might have helped. You were showing me a couple things about maybe the mobility, the flexibility of it all.
Yeah, dance, in order to be good at dance, you have to be super flexible. And as a receiver, part of your job is not getting hit. Guys are trying to prevent you from going in the direction that you want to go to. So if you can avoid them, and usually if you're like Gumby, a lot of people may not even know that reference, but if a guy shoots a hand at you and your body can contort and get out of the way of that, that's beneficial to you. Also, range of motion. The range of motion that I have now is way different from the range of motion I had as a football player, because you had to put all those weights on and be able to take a hit from Brian Dawkins and Sean Taylor. You had to do all of that stuff, you know? So flexibility was huge, and it wasn't emphasized like it is now.
And those early Eagles teams, those 2010s or late 2000s teams that you were such a big part of, so many characters, so many personalities. Was there somebody on those teams really who was you were closest to?
Closest? Me and Jeremy Maclin still talk today.
Awesome.
Just because he's one of those guys that he didn't listen young, and he didn't play until later in the year because he didn't listen. He started to listen, started to have more success. And then I would always tell him to do particular things at the line of scrimmage. He would never do them because he could get away with it because he was fast. Then he got hurt towards ACL. And after that, he had to do what I told him to do. So I seen him in Kansas City because we were teammates in Kansas City. And he ran a route. He's like, you know where I got that from? I was like, yeah, you got it from me. I was like, you finally listening. He was like, I had to because I couldn't get open anymore. So me and him are close. Me and LaShawn McCoy, we're close.
Yeah.
He still asks me for information and for Eagles advice or anything like that. And he's my funniest teammate of all time.
Yeah.
Oh, Shady is hilarious. I can tell you stories about things, but it would be against the Birle code. But that dude is hilarious. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's close to all the time we have for you, Jason Avant. I think we're going to put you on the hot seat before we let you go.
Okay.
Give us a prediction for Sunday. What's it going to take for Philly to win, and what do you think is going to be the outcome?
Well, the game can only go two ways for me. It's either a close game and either Philly or KC can win, or it's the Eagles blowout.
Yeah.
I don't think KC has the ability to blow out the Eagles. The defense is really strong, and we control the best two positions on the field. Defensive line, our defensive line is better than their offensive line. Our offensive line is better than their defensive line. And with all the bells and whistles and the coaching and this and that, those two positions matter the most. You can have great players, but if you can't block, and guess what? Coach Reed has done a masterful job because they really can't block. Their offensive line can't block, but they've run a lot of RPO and quick running game, quick passing game, which kind of eliminate the need to block for a long period of time, misdirections and all those things, unblock guys that are confused. So he's done a great job. But I think when it comes down to nut cutting time and you have to beat a person, the Eagles are the bullies of the NFL, and they beat people. They beat you not by tricks. They punch you in the face.
Oh, well, you heard it here, folks. Jason Avant, thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Nick Guzman, James Birle. We'll be back on 1-on-1 from Super Bowl 59 Radio Row.